Hi friends, how are you? I'm all into Nano Coin. I converted most of my crypto into Nano. The DFI remains same at 1% and Dogecoin is just pocket money. I share with you what I believe in, and if you burn, I'll probably burn more. None of my videos are sponsored. I'm super grateful that Colin, the CEO and founder of Nano Foundation, have agreed for an interview. I had a blast and I hope you do too. I'll wrap up my thoughts at the end. I appreciate an early thumbs up. Hi Colin, thanks for taking the time for coming to this interview. The Nano community will love it, and the people who are just new to Nano, they will also probably learn a lot from this interview. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I always like talking about Nano.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. This is a question that the community wants to know on a lighter note, and I'm really curious to know, do you eat broccoli?
Do I eat broccoli?
Yeah.
I do if it's in a plate. I don't know. Not especially.
I see, because Nano recently has been talking about the green crypto, and the community
Yeah.
is just talking about you with broccoli somehow. Right, so on the scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like to eat broccoli?
I probably about a 7 or 8. It's a good vegetable, pretty solid. Very green.
Yeah, I love broccoli. I just learned something about broccoli is that pound for protein compared to meat, broccoli has actually more protein,
Really?
So,
I wouldn't have expected that. Interesting.
So those protein you need to convert to amino acids or something like that. I'm not really a scientist on that, but I just learned that. So like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's the vegetable that keeps on giving.
Yeah. All right. So back to the crypto space. See, crypto is starting to gain attraction, like adoption, and El Salvador they just made Bitcoin legal tender, and it's really big news. So where do you see Bitcoin in 10 years?
It's hard to say, but I mean, that adoption or what they did in El Salvador is very interesting. It's a very big move, but I do worry basically on the fundamentals still. Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I think, needs to be more efficient than the alternatives that's out there. And people don't have, if the cost is high, people don't have a lot of disposable income, they're not going to be able to opt to use an alternative that actually costs them more. So that's where my basic concern is over it, and that's also one of our primary reasons for developing Nano the way we are, is to keep those costs down as low as possible, because we can't just be like an us also technology. We need to fundamentally be a better alternative than the existing banking system and from an expense standpoint. So let's talk Nano. Out of the thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, in my opinion, is the best medium of exchange because number one, it's free, it's secure, and it doesn't have like centralization trade-offs like most cryptos. Yeah.
So and it really blows my mind. Can you explain those who are new to Nano, how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that how Nano works basically breaks into 3 categories of technology: the consensus portion of it, the decentralization component of it, and then the network throttling, or what some people would call spam prevention. And with other blockchains, a lot of the time they use a single technology to do all 3 of those things. Like Bitcoin is an example, they use proof of work and all 3 of those components. But that, in my opinion, is not really the best technology for all those jobs. So what we did with Nano was pick specific technologies in all 3 of those areas that do the best at those areas. So the consensus portion is a voting-based consensus mechanism. So those have been around for decades. It's the first way that they did it. So we modified that to work in a large-scale system like Nano. Mm-hmm. The second component, the decentralization aspect, is our open representative voting system. So people can move the validation of the network digitally. So if I have a wallet, I can change my validator from this person to this person, or it can be changed from this area to this area. So that makes that very, very efficient. And then the throttling part is using tools that already exist out in computer science. So there's lots of ways to throttle systems. We use a combination of bandwidth throttling, and then prioritizing transactions to go within the allowable limit. So those three things are the technologies that we use in Nano, each one of them specifically designed for the purpose that they're used for.
All right, thank you. If the audience want to know like anything in detail on how does it work, is there a place where they can go to understand Nano on a deeper level?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of documentation. Docs.nano.org is where you can take a look at it. We have our original white paper, but now we have kind of a living white paper since we've made revisions as time has gone on. One day, I'll put it all together kind of when it's crystallized into another paper format so people can take a look at it. But yeah, the docs are the best place to see how everything is constructed.
Awesome. I'll link the docs in the description below.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing about Nano, I see the world using Nano. To me, it is like you do not pay to send emails. Like you don't pay 0.001 cent to send an email. So to me, it is the best form of medium of exchange. But because it's free and instant, okay, many may argue, including like Charles Hoskinson. I'm a big fan of him too. But he's the founder of Cardano. He said that because it's feelers, that means spam and attacks. So can you explain like what is being done to prevent this?
Yeah, from a technology standpoint, we have a couple strategies that we use to prevent the spam. But taking a step back, fundamentally, with my issue when I see fees in systems out there is that puts the network designers and the node operators in opposition to the users. So fees are typically actually collected on congestion. They're also collected on use. And when it's based on collection on congestion or use, the node operators, whenever they make improvements to the system, they're actually undercutting the fee system in their network. So if I found a new technology that doubles the amount of transactions that Nano can do, that's going to have the amount of fees that the node operators collect. And this kind of like negative incentive is what we're trying to avoid by not doing that fundamentally. Then, since not a lot of people are looking into truly feeless network structure, I think all of the competitors have some sort of fee in the network. We have to make a technology that will do that. What we're trying to do is a system that a community member actually suggested, which is called time as a currency. And it is a system of prioritizing transactions according to balance and also according to time. So it is a pretty complex system, but we can show a link to it and then people can read up about it. I think it's probably the best way to understand it.
Sure, I'll link the article in the description below too. I think that solves the problem with spam. And
it is.
I think you just got to read in detail, and it just blows my mind. Like usually some people say there's not a way. Like people used to think electric vehicles was crazy, but now everybody's going electric vehicles. So I think this time as currency thing solves the feelers problem with spam.
Yeah, exactly. And just like you mentioned, that technologies have been around for a long time, and virtually every single one of them has figured out some sort of like throttling or limiting to prevent spam in a system. Fees are not the only way to do it. It is a simple way to do it, okay, but that it pushes that complexity off to the user. They have to calculate the fees. They have to understand network congestion. None of that is what users want to understand. So. Somebody in the community pointed out that in their opinion, they felt this was really kind of one of the last things that needed to be solved in the cryptocurrency space as a whole in order to really push that last mile adoption.
Awesome. I can't wait for that to come out. That's in V23, right? Version 23?
Yeah, we had to put it out in stages. So developing Nano is a particularly interesting / difficult thing because the network is always live. It's running 24 hours a day. So all of our changes need to be put out in a way that it doesn't interrupt availability. So the upgrades have to be smooth. We have to have ways for the network to agree on when to do the new system. So it does take some versions to improve things. V23 will have a couple more components that we it'll basically have all the starting components. We put some initial ones into V22, kind of at the end. Those weren't the complete solutions. V23 and beyond will have, what we can add at the time to get it there.
Awesome. So this is from the Reddit community. After V23, could we consider Nano protocol production ready? I mean, not in terms of like no need for more development, but rather like no more spam attacks could wreck the entire network. Yeah. So like when will we be production ready?
Yeah. So the term we use is commercial grade, and we use that because it kind of specifies, what we're trying to do. As more and more people use Nano, these networks will come under more sophisticated type of, attacks, or we need more sophisticated algorithms to prevent these things. So it does take time. It takes work. It takes design to make sure that our design doesn't undermine, the other goals that we have, which are like the decentralization component and simplicity for the user. So V23 will have a lot of what we need. It might not have it all, but we'll say what we have and what we're doing going forward. And if people can help out, obviously that is the best way to do it. Just more involvement from anyone that is capable, spread the word type of thing. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for I'm looking forward to that. So what are the upcoming features that you are personally most excited about?
I am always excited about getting more for fewer resources. So I'm excited about some of the block changes that we're proposing. There are subtle changes inside of there, but they make a lot of the internal processing of the node much, much easier and more efficient. And that just means we can do more transactions in the same amount of resources.
What do you believe needs to be done for Nano to be feature complete?
I think we are feature complete currently in that it does what we want it to do, which is serve as point-to-point digital currency. And then everything beyond that is just doing it better, doing it more resilient, making sure that it is a system that can be used on the world reliably and achieving the goal. So I don't know when precisely or what will, kind of get us over that hurdle. In software, we call it, I think, the hockey stick analogy, where there's a lot of stuff to do for a long time, and then it kind of just curves out. And once we get to that point where we don't have to make a lot of changes, that's really where we want to be. Because anytime there's code changes, there's risk introduced. We have to be very careful in how it's developed. So getting to a point where we don't need to make a lot of changes is really where I think we're going to achieve that.
I was just thinking about Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin has been taken mass adoption is because the code is the only one that is code complete. So it takes time for people to trust the code. So from the point it codes complete onwards, I think the timing starts there. So it's just a personal selfish reasons. I just hope it gets production ready tomorrow, but I don't think it's so fast. I know software is complicated, and you guys are really doing your best. There's another thing I'd like to add on. There's a lot of people talking about adding smart contracts into Nano. I mean, and this is my own opinion. I hope that doesn't happen. The reason why is that when you add smart contract features, number one, you'll be having a lot of centralization trade-offs, like more data and of course more vectors of attack. So would you ever do a smart contract feature into Nano?
In Nano, no, not really. I mean, for the same reasons that you described, one is any type of extra traffic that goes through the system that's unrelated to, being a means of exchange takes away from the means of exchange. It makes it more expensive. Fundamentally, we have limits in computing. There are resources and they cost money, and we want to use those resources as efficiently as possible.
Super cool. That is the best answer I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Perfect.
So where do you see Nano in 10 years?
I see it as a global free floating currency. I don't know where specifically we'll be in the adoption hurdle in 10 years, but I mean, that is the goal. And from a vision standpoint, as we start to get more people that are using Nano, more businesses that are accepting Nano, it's going to move up in its network effect, and it's going to kind of spread out. So people that are in areas where they don't have access at all to electronic banking, I think that'll be a big push in that direction. Places where the banking system has high inflation rates, like there's monetary printing, that's another place that'll be in there. I think it's going to start to fill those areas and then permeate out to people that already have instant type of money, like credit cards and that type of stuff. It's actually paradoxically harder to get them to adopt it because they already have something that serves that purpose almost directly. So yeah, I think free floating global currency is where I see it.
I do see that too. Another question from the Reddit community: the price of crypto depends on adoption and utility. So what is the Nano Foundation currently doing and future plans to increase adoption and utility?
Yeah, well, I mean, the adoption question, it's the $1 million question, but it also isn't well defined across everyone in the cryptocurrency space. So for us, what adoption means is Nano being used for its purpose. It's solving a real business problem and not solving a problem that doesn't exist. So businesses always look at how do we do this more efficiently, lower cost, better for our customers. And we work with businesses that are interested in doing that. If they want to accept it in their payment system or use it in their back office, in their back end to move money around between jurisdictions, that's where I see it as a win. And that's the things that we focus on. Because if we're solving a business problem more efficiently and at a lower cost than what they already use, they're not going to get rid of us.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to use you. Yeah,
it is, exactly. Yeah, and when we don't have to maintain that business relationship, like talking with them, it's already maintained through the lower cost. Then we can go to more people and do the same thing there, and we just repeat that process, getting Nano into their business, saving them money, and moving forward. So that's what we do.
Yeah.
And
so there's a follow-up question regarding business. There's this guy on Twitter, a crypto Bonanza, he's the one that introduced me to Nano with his amazing thread. So he has this question for you. I reserved this question for him. And it's an amazing question. There was this thread on 465 Digital Investments using Nano as a FX pipeline, meaning using as payment rails for countries where payment are inefficient and expensive. Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, I mean, for the same reasons we were just talking about, it's very exciting to work with companies that want to use it in their back end. We don't really put out updates other than the ones that we do. We have to plan what we say when we say it. So I don't have any new information on it other than just to say, we're always pursuing these type of things. And we'll post new info when we can.
All right. Okay. Regarding there's another thread about a year back. I'll link all these things that we are talking about in the description below. But someone did a calculation using Nano as an FX pipeline, using euro dollars to USD. So to send money, the worst way, the most expensive way would be from banks to banks, because although some may write zero fees, but the spreads kill you. And the second way would be Western Union. Third way would be Wise.com, or they used to call it TransferWise. So this guy, what he did is he did his euros to Nano, and he transferred to US and US back to Nano. And Nano back to USD, and it's even cheaper than Wise.com. So there's a lot of use cases with this, and I'm really bullish on. It's just depending on the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp available in each country. I think if you can smooth out the process, it's going to be the next way of moving money.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was surprised. We did a similar type of test probably about a year ago. It was a combination of credit card swipe, moving money out of a bank account into Nano, then reselling the Nano on the other end. And we just were like, what's the cost across this going to be? And it was incredibly cheap. By far, the biggest cost factor was the credit card swipe transaction. I thought there would be an appreciable amount of expense kind of in the deposit and withdrawal from the exchange, or possibly in the spread, but there really wasn't. So yeah, it has a huge amount of potential. And that's the type of thing where, it's kind of easy to describe what can be done. We've shown that it is that way. So what you need is to package that all up inside of an easy to use system for an end user, making sure that, the banking relationships are there, which are very, very difficult for this type of thing. They're very, very heavily regulated. So that's where the real difficulty is. It's less in the idea, but more in the implementation of it, where it gets really hard.
Yeah, to just value add to what you just said, just for most people who trade crypto, the Binance.com to me is still one of the better places to do. But within Binance.com, a good fiat on-ramp and off-ramp is peer-to-peer trading. So you just go to Binance.com, you click peer-to-peer trading, and you could actually not need to go through banks, but rather trade with people in your own country. So this is just a pro tip for people who are watching. All right.
Yep.
I'm very excited to ask you this question, because I think it's super underrated. What is your motivation behind capture faucet initial distribution? I'm meaning to say, when you're distributing Nano, people had to solve that. Is this a bot? Then they click the thing and they get free Nano. You see, most cryptos go through ICO, making the founders rich, and you could have been really rich. So if it's not really money was your motivation, what was your motivation?
So, my motivation with all of this is I think this is a technology the world needs. I think it'll help a lot of people. And that's my primary reason for working on this. There's lots of ways in the world, to get rich and to make money. But there's not as many to make this as much of an impact as I think Nano can and is doing. The reason why we didn't do an ICO is ICOs really only benefit people that already have capital. So they already have a pile of money that they're sitting on. They're putting it into your system in order to get more money out of it. What we really wanted was a natural, organic distribution to people that's out there. It's not unfair. It wasn't picked by me. I didn't airdrop onto people. So the faucet was a way that anyone could join in this, and the people that did join in this initial distribution were the people that kind of had the most amount of time on their hands. Clicking a faucet for a long period of time is very time intensive. So we got a very, very large spread, a very large dispersion of our initial distribution, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be inclusive.
I'm super inspired by what you did. The only crypto project I've seen this done, and most often enough, people who do not start with the motivation of money, instead rather come from a place of value, and in the end, it changes the world. And I really believe in your vision, and I'm a big supporter of Nano.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it. It's good to talk with other people that kind of have that same vision. It's easy to get caught up in the pure fiscal, monetary part of cryptocurrency, but people have to remember, the original goal of cryptocurrency was to get monetary accessibility to everyone in the world, and that really is the most important goal.
Yeah. So one of the things I've been quite excited about is the CEO of Razer just followed you guys. And according from his tweets, I think he kind of communicated with you guys. So is there any insider news you could share?
Yeah, it's one of the other things is we release things when there's something tangible to go. Otherwise, it's just kind of discussions. And a lot of these things take a lot longer than people expect. Business negotiations are a very slow thing, and cryptocurrency is incredibly high paced. So, people expect things to be done in tomorrow or in 3 hours, but these things really do take time. And we got it. We put out releases when we have something notable.
So I'm just trying my luck.
Yeah.
So no pressure.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, right? Which country do you look forward to? This is from Reddit. So which country do you look forward to traveling after COVID restrictions are lifted? Your favorite country and why?
Yeah. Well, actually, I do like to travel when I can, when we're not locked down. Places with hot climates are always nice. I want to visit Croatia again. I actually really like the country. It's beautiful. I'd like to go to Brazil. I know there's a lot of nano enthusiasts down there, and it's very tropical. So, we'll see.
Awesome.
Maybe I'll go to
I'm
Singapore. I haven't been there actually, so.
Cool, you're welcome here anytime.
Yeah,
I think we are still open to the world, just that you need a 21 days quarantine, which is kind of the
Yeah, it's pretty stiff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's half your trip.
Yeah. All right. So I have one last question from you, because we talked about Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. So if Nano was a coin, what animal would it be?
If Nano was an animal, what animal would it be? Probably something like a cheetah. I've also seen people. Yeah, I've also seen people say a hedgehog, like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I don't know, fast and efficient. Maybe not cheetahs because they can only sprint. It's got to have somebody that gives what runs the farthest. Humans do.
I was thinking of a sloth, because Elon Musk usually says fate loves irony, so you put a sloth as the
that would
animal.
be funny. That is ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes the main mineral exchange of the world. I mean, that would be super cool, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Colin, thanks so much for your time here. I bet a lot of people in the community would love this interview, or you will add new value to new people coming in. And I'm really looking forward to Nano being used all over the world as the main medium of exchange.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, Ken. I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. Wrapping up, my investment thesis takes price targets 5 to 10 years out. I've been in the markets long enough to know every week there is some kind of drama. It never ends. The longer term view filters out all that noise. Meanwhile, asset prices will fluctuate up and down, and instead of worrying about the prices, which I stopped doing long ago, I monitor the fundamentals. I believe Nano Coin has all the fundamentals of what Satoshi Nakamoto has set up with. A transparent, decentralized payment and a system that will be freed of the financial institutions. Nano doesn't have the same risk like Bitcoin. I've talked about that in another video, and Coinbase IPO filing also talk about that same risk. Nano is free to transact instantly and securely, a pure medium of exchange to the moon.